The angels brought me a vibrant message today, full of disclosures about that person who has been occupying your thoughts. There is something intense happening in their heart, a realization that has left them deeply restless, and yes, quite nervous. Perhaps they haven't shared this yet, but the angels want you to understand the depth of what has been brought to light deep within them. The absence they feel regarding you isn't a fleeting sensation. It isn't something that can simply be ignored or easily replaced. It is a feeling that became apparent with an unexpected force, turning into a heavy burden to carry, a constant in their mind. This person, who might have put in the hard yards to move on, trying to convince themselves that missing you wouldn't make much of a difference, now finds themselves caught in a whirlwind of memories and emotions they simply cannot control. The angels clearly show that, despite the physical distance, your energy remains linked to theirs in an almost unbreakable way. No matter what they do, where they head, or who they spend their time with, something inside them incessantly pulls them back to you. But dear soul, why this resistance? What is stopping them from taking a step in your direction, from expressing what has been so clearly perceived? The angels disclose that this person has been fighting an internal battle against what they truly feel. It could be due to deep-rooted pride, a profound fear of vulnerability, or simply because they haven't yet managed to process the true depth and meaning of this bond that unites you both. However, in the silence of the night, when emotional defenses weaken and the heart allows itself to speak louder, the truth becomes impossible to deny. They miss you in an overwhelming way, an intensity they have never experienced with anyone else before. This sudden and powerful realization is what has left them so nervous. This longing that consumes them isn't just for specific moments or isolated memories, but for your entire presence in their life. There is something about you, a light, a comfort, a sense of security, an understanding that they can't find in anyone else. The way you understood them, how you looked into their eyes and seemed to know exactly what was happening in their inner world, even without a single word being spoken. These little things, which might have gone unnoticed in the past or were taken for granted, are now missed in a way that strikes the soul, becoming almost painful in their absence. They realize that this connection is unique and irreplaceable, and this epiphany has left them stunned. And the angels show me something even more profound and impactful. They have been repeatedly asking themselves if they have already missed the chance, the opportunity to have you back in their life. This doubt has turned into a colossal weight on their soul, a constant restlessness that deprives them of finding genuine peace. Time moves forward, but the feeling of emptiness does not diminish. On the contrary, it grows every day. This happens because the more this person tries to break free and forget, the stronger and more present you become in their thoughts and feelings. The urgency of this realization is what has left them so disoriented and nervous. They feel that time is slipping away and that the window of opportunity might be closing. Before continuing the message, write this mantra in the comments. I deserve relationships based on trust and harmony. Now, continuing the message. The angels say that this person has thrown themselves into searching for distractions, trying to occupy their mind and heart with 1,001 things to escape this whirlwind of feelings invading them. But the undeniable truth is that the harder they try to deny the existence of this connection, the stronger and more unshakable the longing becomes. And it is at this crucial point that they begin to perceive the vital need to face this reality, no matter how challenging it seems. This awareness is disturbing, as it forces them to confront truths they would rather ignore. They might not have openly verbalized this yet. They might not have had the courage to express in words what is going on deep inside. But their heart, dear soul, is already fully aware. You were, and still are, someone absolutely irreplaceable in their life. There is no one else capable of awakening the same sensations in them, of making them feel what you were able to provoke. And this finding is something that frightens them deeply, because, upon at last realizing this, they understand that they might have made a grave mistake, an irreparable flaw in allowing you to distance yourself, in letting you go. This distressing realization is what has left them so nervous and pensive. What the angels want you to know is that this overwhelming longing isn't in vain. It doesn't exist just to torment this person or to cast doubts upon your sensitive heart. It carries a much greater purpose, a deeper and more intrinsic meaning. The angels show that this feeling is acting as a catalyst, opening this person's eyes to a truth that, in past times, they vehemently refused to see. The immeasurable value you hold in their life, your true and unmistakable importance. This discovery is so impactful that it shakes them completely. Now, the great and crucial question the angels bring for your reflection is, what will this person do with this newly discovered and incredibly intense feeling? Will they find the necessary courage to face what they truly feel, to dive headfirst into this truth? Will they manage eventually to put aside the pride that has chained them and seek you out, to take the step that brings them closer? Or conversely, will they remain trapped in this cycle of deep longing and agonizing regret without taking concrete action? This uncertainty is what has left them paralyzed and nervous. The angels show that there is an overwhelming internal conflict happening right at this exact moment within this person. The burning desire to be near you, to feel your presence again, grows exponentially with each passing day. However, there is still a colossal fear that stops them from acting, that keeps them stagnant. Fear of rejection, fear that it might be too late to turn the situation around, fear that you have already turned the page, moved on with your own life. This paralyzing fear is what has kept this person in an agonizing silence, even as their entire soul screams for you, begging for a reconnection. This internal struggle is the cause of their profound restlessness. But dear soul, this situation of stagnation and silence cannot persist for much longer. Something grandiose is about to change, to transform. The angels say that this person is approaching a decisive moment, a turning point where they will inevitably be forced to face what they truly feel in their heart, and ultimately take a concrete action. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is orchestrating the perfect circumstances for this truth to come to light, so that they eventually understand that running away from this overwhelming feeling is no longer a viable option. They feel this pressure from the universe, and this leaves them increasingly tense and nervous. Can you feel it in the air, dear soul? Can you perceive this intense energy of change approaching with rapid strides? Because the angels are confirming that something significant is about to happen soon. This longing this person feels for you isn't a simple whim of destiny. It isn't mere chance. It is a powerful call for them to awaken, so that they at last understand the importance and depth of this connection that unites you both. And this call, which before was a murmur, is becoming increasingly stronger and undeniable, resonating in every fiber of their being. This perception of the call is what has left them so deeply nervous and impatient. Now, before we close this part of the message, the angels ask you to connect deeply with your purest intuition and answer to yourself with total honesty. If this person came back today with an open heart and the truth exposed, would your heart be truly ready to receive them, to open up again to this possibility? The sincerity in your answer is vital. This reflection is what they are also experiencing, and the uncertainty consumes them. The angels say that this answer is absolutely essential and fundamental for everything that will follow, for the universe's next moves, and for the unfolding of this story. Your internal clarity will guide the next steps of this connection. Dear soul, the longing they feel is no longer just an uncomfortable feeling, but something that is transforming into an almost uncontrollable need, an urgency that dominates their thoughts. There is a growing restlessness inside them, a profound feeling of emptiness that they can no longer disguise, no matter how hard they try. The angels show that, as much as this person strives to act normally in their day-to-day life, their mind and heart are completely somewhere else, on another plane of existence. And that place, dear soul, is undeniably by your side, in your presence, feeling your energy. This perception of the uncontrollable need for you is what has left them deeply nervous. They have been living days of intense reflection, of profound introspection, moments when memories of you surface with an overwhelming force, as if they were vivid scenes from a movie playing repeatedly in their head, without a break. They are flashes of precious moments lived by your side, of words spoken and unspoken, of gestures that once seemed small or insignificant, but which now carry an immense weight, a profound meaning. This person misses you in a way that transcends logic, for it is not just about your physical presence, your touch, or your gaze, but your singular energy, the unique and unmistakable way you made them feel. This avalanche of memories and feelings is what has left them in a state of profound tension. The angels say that this person never expected the longing to reach such an extreme point, such an overwhelming intensity. At the beginning of your absence, they naively believed that everything would sort itself out with time, that geographical distance would cause the feelings to gradually dissipate, fading into oblivion. But now, the cruel reality imposes itself. They realize that time hasn't erased absolutely anything. On the contrary, time has made every detail become even clearer, more vivid, and more painful in their mind. And this, dear soul, has affected them in a way they never even imagined possible. The irony that time intensified, rather than diminished, their feelings is what has left them so nervous and shaken. This person, in their desperate attempt to fill the void, has already tried to move on. The angels show that they sought various distractions, tried to occupy their mind and heart with other things, perhaps even with other people, in a futile attempt at substitution. But nothing worked. No experience, no matter how interesting it was, could actually replace what they genuinely feel for you. No conversation brought the same comfort and the same understanding. No touch awakened the same deep and visceral connection. And it is at this point of exhaustion, of failure in all their attempts, that this person begins to perceive an undeniable and frightening truth. There is absolutely no one like you, nor will there ever be. This realization of your irreplaceability is what has left them so nervous and stunned. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments, "I receive the truth that the angels bring to me." This is an act of openness and acceptance for the blessings that are arriving in your life. Now, continuing the message, this overwhelming realization, this epiphany about your uniqueness, has been extremely difficult for this person to process. They find themselves facing an existential dilemma: to fully accept what they feel in their heart and ultimately seek a sincere and true reconnection, or to obstinately continue running away from what has already become impossible to ignore, a truth that relentlessly pursues them. The angels say there is a colossal and unshakable fear in their heart, a deep and paralyzing dread that it might already be too late for any attempt, that you might no longer be willing to hear what they have to say, that you might have closed the doors to your heart. And this paralyzing fear has caused them to hesitate repeatedly, even when the overwhelming desire to seek you out screams deafeningly inside them, crying out for an action. The profound anguish of this indecision has left them extremely nervous and confused. The angels show me that, in the recent past, this person was very close, just a hair's breadth away from contacting you directly. They actually picked up the phone in their trembling hands, mentally rehearsing the words they would say, imagining in detail the conversations you would have. But something, an invisible and powerful block, stopped them at the last crucial moment. The crushing fear of the unknown, of what they might hear in response, of the reaction you would have, completely paralyzed them. And this, dear soul, made them back away again, even knowing deep down that continued silence would only prolong their anguish and suffering. This near attempt, followed by the paralysis of fear, has left them even more nervous and frustrated with themselves. Dear soul, the angels ask you to understand something absolutely essential and fundamental for the unraveling of this situation. This person misses you in an overwhelming and constant way, but hasn't yet managed to gather the necessary courage to face this truth head-on, without detours. They are dealing with an uncontrollable whirlwind of contradictory emotions, desperately trying to understand how something that seemed resolved, a closed stage, still holds so much strength and power within them. And the answer, dear soul, is simple in its depth, because the bond, the energetic and spiritual connection between you two, never truly broke. This inexplicable persistence of the bond is what has left them so nervous and perplexed. This connection is something that completely transcends the physical plane of existence. It is something the angels show as an unbreakable golden thread that unites your souls, an energetic tie that, regardless of geographical distance or time past, continues to exist with all its strength. And the more this person tries to resist this magnetic force, this undeniable truth, the stronger and more overwhelming becomes the feeling that something essential inside them is incomplete, missing a crucial piece without your presence. This battle against their own soul is what has left them exhausted and nervous. The angels say that this person is on the verge of an extremely important decision, a point of no return. The coming days will be decisive and crucial because they can no longer carry this emotional weight alone, in total isolation. The urgent need to express themselves, to remove this agonizing knot from their throat, to say everything that has been kept hidden and repressed for far too long, is growing exponentially with every passing moment. And soon, dear soul, they will be propelled by a greater force to act, to take the step they have been avoiding so much. They feel this imminent pressure, and this leaves them increasingly tense and nervous. But there is an essential question the angels want you to ask yourself, with all the honesty of your heart. Are you truly prepared and willing to hear what this person has to say, to open yourself up to this truth that is coming? This is a crucial question for your own emotional preparation. The intensity of this doubt also torments them, because when they come, dear soul, it will no longer be with mind games, with loose and empty phrases, or with vague and evasive answers. It will be with the raw, naked truth. It will be with an open and vulnerable heart, with the deepest feelings they have kept and repressed for far too long, waiting for the right moment to be brought to light. They feel that this surrender will be total, and this leaves them terrified. And the angels say that when this highly anticipated and feared moment arrives, you will need to make a decision that will define the future. Whether this story, this connection between you, will have a new and promising beginning, full of hope, or if it will ultimately be a final full stop, a definitive and liberating closure. The choice will be yours, and the angels will be with you, regardless of the path you choose. Now, before we close this part of the message, if this disclosure resonated deeply with you and touched your heart, write in the comments, "I claim the spiritual clarity the angels are sending into my life." This is an act of openness and acceptance for the blessings that are arriving. This is an act of openness and acceptance for the blessings that are arriving. And if you felt a warmth in your heart, a sign that this message is for you, and would like to support the continuation of these messages of light, feel free to make a donation through the Super Thanks button. Every gesture of affection and support helps us continue spreading this light and inspiration to more souls. Now, continuing the message. Dear soul, the angels continue to guide this message so that you may understand even more deeply what is truly happening in this person's heart. There is something very important that needs to be unveiled today, a truth that has left them on edge. They can no longer handle this longing, and something inside them is about to overflow, to explode into an unavoidable display. This feeling of absence, which at the beginning of your separation seemed bearable and even manageable, has turned into an unsustainable weight, a crushing emotional load. They miss you in a way they have never missed absolutely anyone in their life, an intensity that consumes them from the inside. This emotional pressure is what has left them so deeply nervous and about to give in. The angels show that this person has been striving to act as if they were in total control of the situation, as if they could simply move forward without looking back, without caring about the past. But in reality, dear soul, there is an overwhelming and uncontrollable storm happening inside them. When they are alone, away from the noise and distractions of the world, their mind travels incessantly to the past, reliving with impressive clarity all the precious moments they lived by your side. Every memory has a different taste now, a more intense shade. If before they viewed everything with a certain emotional distance, now they feel every detail with a depth that borders on painful, that strikes their soul. This painful review of the past is what has left them so nervous and anguished. They vividly remember your voice, the melody of your laugh, the charming way you smiled, the unmistakable sparkle in your eyes when you spoke about something you passionately loved. Little gestures, details that once seemed trivial or insignificant, are now precious and irreplaceable treasures in their memory. The angels say that this person began to realize, with frightening clarity, that no one else possesses this unique energy, this essence that only you have, which captivated them in such a particular way. And it is exactly this realization, this undeniable uniqueness of your presence, that is generating a deep and constant restlessness in their heart, leaving them increasingly nervous and anxious for a resolution. What this person still doesn't fully understand, in their confusion, is that the overwhelming longing they feel for you isn't just a simple reflection of good times and pleasant memories. On the contrary, it is a clear, unmistakable sign that there is something much bigger, deeper, and more significant linking you two together. This connection, dear soul, wasn't built merely by chance, nor is it something that can be easily replaced by anyone else who crosses their path. They might even try to convince themselves mistakenly that they will get over all this, that the pain will pass. But the angels show that what exists between you is not something that simply disappears with time, because it is a soul tie, an unbreakable spiritual link. This perception of the soul tie is what has left them perplexed and nervous. Before continuing the message, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, take the opportunity to subscribe. This helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. Now, continuing the message. They might have tried to run away from this overwhelming feeling, distracted themselves with other people looking for relief, or thrown themselves headfirst into new routines, hoping that time would erase everything. But none of this, absolutely nothing, managed to erase the undeniable truth that resides in their heart. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is sending constant and unmistakable signs so that they at last see what they truly feel, so that they can no longer ignore this truth. These signs can come in various forms and intensities. A song that suddenly plays on the radio and makes them instantly remember you. A scent in the air that brings back a vivid and palpable memory. Or even intense and recurring dreams, in which you appear with impressive clarity. These cosmic signs are leaving them increasingly nervous and backed into a corner. And the angels show me something even stronger and more surprising. They have been dreaming a lot, a real lot, about you. They aren't random, meaningless dreams, but night visions full of significance, of hidden messages. Often, they wake up suddenly smelling your familiar scent, hearing your distinctive voice, or with the vivid sensation that you two were truly together, side by side, just like the old days. These dreams leave them completely confused and disoriented, as they are so real and palpable that for a fleeting moment, they believe everything can still be lived, that reality has merged with the dream world. But when they wake up abruptly to the harsh reality, they realize you are not there. And this finding is like an electric shock, a profound emptiness that becomes even harder and more painful to ignore, leaving them deeply shaken and nervous. The angels want you to know, dear soul, that these recurring and vivid dreams aren't just the product of chance or imagination. They are, in fact, a powerful form of spiritual communication, an urgent call from the universe for this person to understand, once and for all, that your presence, your energy, your soul cannot be erased or forgotten. Their heart is desperately trying to send them clear and unequivocal messages, even if the rational mind tries to resist at all costs, clinging to defenses. This subtle but insistent communication is what has left them so nervous and in internal conflict. And there is something even stronger and more surprising that the angels are uncovering now with total clarity. They feel your energy, dear soul, even from a distance, even without your physical presence. Often, when they are distracted by their daily tasks, they might feel sudden shivers on their skin, a strange and unmistakable sensation, as if you were right there, close by, in their energetic vicinity. And the truth is that, in a way, you are. The bond between you is so intense and powerful that it completely transcends physical presence. This person can feel your vibration, your life force, even when you aren't actively communicating. This perception of your energy is what has left them so nervous and intrigued. Now, what the angels want you to understand is that this person is about to make a high-impact decision. They can no longer carry this burden of longing alone, in silence. Something needs to change radically in their life. The universe is shifting all energies and orchestrating all circumstances so that very soon, a reconnection between you happens, unexpectedly or not. They feel this imminence, and this leaves them deeply tense and nervous, but also with a glimmer of hope. The angels say that the right moment, the sacred timing for this reconnection, is being carefully prepared. It might not be today or tomorrow, but this person is getting ever closer to giving in to the indisputable truth that has always been there, waiting to be acknowledged. The crushing weight of the longing is gradually transforming their paralyzing fear into courage to act, their agonizing doubt into an imperative need to meet you again. They feel this internal transformation, and this leaves them very nervous, but determined. And now, dear soul, I ask you with all seriousness, if this person knocked on your door tomorrow morning, with their heart in their hands, what would you say to them? Your inner answer is crucial. Think carefully and calmly, dear soul. Because what is coming, what the angels are preparing, has the power to change absolutely everything in your life and in theirs. This is an important disclosure for both hearts involved. The angels are sending you a special sign. Your lucky number for today is 3. Write in the comments, I receive the energy of the angels. My lucky number is 3 and I am blessed. I send love and protection to the person I like and love very much. If this message touched your heart, show your support with a super thanks and help spread this message of light to other people who need it. Dear soul, the absence that once seemed bearable and even manageable has now become an unsustainable burden for this person. They feel that every day away from you is an extra weight on their shoulders, an emotional load that intensifies with every dawn. The angels show that this person feels completely trapped in an internal dilemma, a battle between what their rational mind tries to impose and what their heart urgently cries out for. They want to seek you out, dear soul. They want to hear your voice again, feel your presence once more. But something inside them still hesitates, stops them from taking the step. It could be wounded pride, the overwhelming fear of rejection, or even a profound insecurity about how you would react to this reconnection. But deep in their soul, they know, with absolute clarity, that they need to act, because the longing is no longer something that can be ignored or repressed. This internal tension is what has left them so deeply nervous and indecisive. There is a very important detail that the angels uncover now, with crystal clarity. This person has been watching you, dear soul, much more than you even imagine. whether through social media, keeping subtly updated on your life, or through mutual friends who serve as bridges of information, or simply by feeling your energy from afar. This person desperately tries to stay connected to you somehow, even if indirectly. They urgently want to know how you are, if you are doing well, if you miss them with the same intense way they miss you. This constant observation, this need to know about your life, is what has left them so restless and nervous. And this torments them deeply, because the real possibility that you might have moved on with your life, without looking back, leaves them completely restless and with growing anguish. The angels show that this person constantly asks themselves, in a vicious cycle of thoughts, do I still have a space, a place in their heart? Do they still think of me, or have they forgotten me for good? This existential doubt is what consumes them inside, leaving their nerves on edge, not knowing what to do. Before we continue, the angels ask you to do a powerful emotional release exercise. Write in the comments a list of people, and this includes yourself, dear soul, whom you would sincerely like to forgive from the heart. Visualize each one of them in your mind. Send love and compassion, and say sincerely, I forgive you, and I release you. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness and profound freedom that the act of forgiving brings to your soul. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. Now, continuing the message, what is happening now in this person's heart is a true and intense emotional battle. For a long and painful time, they avoided confronting their own feelings, preferring to distract themselves with trivialities or sweep under the rug. Into the darkness of the subconscious, everything they felt for you. But the angels show that the universe, in its unshakable wisdom, is now forcing this person to face the raw, naked truth, without any more detours or subterfuges. This internal confrontation is what has left them so deeply nervous and disturbed. And this truth, dear soul, is simple in its essence, but overwhelming in its impact. They no longer absolutely do not want to live without you in their life anymore. This is the epiphany that is leaving them in a state of total nervousness and disorientation. They might have tried to ignore this powerful connection between you, but all the failed attempts to move forward without your presence have crashed miserably. No other person, no matter how hard they tried, managed to fill the immense void you left in their heart. Because what you had, dear soul, was unique. It was special. It was unmistakable. And now, they understand this like never before, with a clarity that frightens and deeply perturbs them. The angels show that this person is getting closer and closer to taking concrete action, to taking the step they fear so much. They have been feeling sudden and uncontrollable urges to send you a message, to seek you out, to attempt a reconnection. But some invisible force, always holds them back at the very last second. What they fear most, dear soul, isn't the conversation itself, but what that conversation could truly mean for your future together. Because deep in their soul, they know that if you open the door to your heart again, everything in their life could change radically, and this change terrifies them. This imminence of change is what has left them so nervous and anxious. Now, the angels ask you to ask yourself, with all the honesty of your heart, if this person comes back and opens up to you, will you be truly ready to forgive the mistakes of the past? Forgiving, dear soul, doesn't mean accepting just anything or justifying wrong actions. It means, first and foremost, releasing the weight of the past from inside your heart so that, regardless of the decision you make, whether it be to start fresh or to move forward alone, your soul will be at peace, light, and free. This act of forgiveness is fundamental to your own healing and well-being. The angels show that, for this reconnection to happen the right way, in the most beneficial and harmonious way for both, The pure and transformative energy of forgiveness needs to be present in your hearts. What has passed, dear soul, cannot be changed or undone. But the future, yes, can still be written with love, with truth, with understanding, and with new opportunities. This understanding about forgiveness is what they are also starting to process, and this leaves them nervous, but hopeful. And this is exactly what this person is starting to understand, with much pain and difficulty. They are learning, in the hardest and most arduous way, that true opportunities cannot be wasted, that genuine and true love doesn't appear twice in the same way, with the same intensity and uniqueness. This painful lesson is what has left them so nervous and in the process of maturing. Dear soul, the angels say that this story of yours hasn't reached its end yet. There is an outcome that is being meticulously written by the forces of the universe, and you, dear soul, play an absolutely essential and leading role in this. Your energy and your decisions will be decisive. Now close your eyes for a moment, dear soul. Take a deep breath, and imagine this person in front of you, with an open heart. What is the first emotion that arises in your heart? What is the purest and truest feeling that makes itself apparent? This emotion, dear soul, will bring instant clarity regarding what you truly desire for your future, regarding your true yearnings. The answer you find within yourself will be absolutely essential and crucial for the next steps the universe is preparing for the unfolding of this connection. Get ready, dear soul, for the disclosures continue. Dear soul, there is something inside them that has become impossible to silence. The longing they feel has grown so much, so overwhelmingly, that it now breaks past any barrier they tried to impose on themselves, any defense they built. It is like a force of nature that cannot be contained. The angels show that, in the last few days, this person has been feeling a deep and inexplicable anguish, a constant feeling of restlessness that accompanies them at every moment. They feel lost, as if they are always waiting for something, as if there is a massive gap inside them that nothing, absolutely nothing, seems to fully fill. They desperately try to find answers, try to understand why this overwhelming feeling won't pass, why it persists with such strength. But the undeniable truth, dear soul, is that the answer already resides in their own heart. They miss you in a way that no other love, no other experience can replace or erase. This inexplicable anguish is what has left them so deeply nervous and disoriented. The angels say that this person has been living moments of deep reflection, of painful introspection. They look back on old conversations with you, relive precious moments in their mind, and repeatedly wonder how everything got to this point of separation, to this emotional distance. There is a growing regret in their soul, a belated recognition that they could have done things differently, that they should have shown more affection, spoken more about their feelings, allowed themselves to feel and live more intensely by your side. This avalanche of regrets and what-ifs is what has left them in a state of profound tension and nervousness. And there is a highly important detail, dear soul. They feel, with a clarity that frightens them, that they have truly lost you. This thought, this painful certainty, haunts them day and night. Because, whereas before they naively believed they could have total control of the situation, that they could dictate the direction of the relationship, now they realize that things are no longer in their hands, that control has slipped away. And this lack of control, this powerlessness in the face of reality, is something that torments them deeply, leaving them with their nerves on edge, not knowing how to act. The angels uncover that this person has been observing your energy from afar, with an almost obsessive attention. They feel that something inside you has transformed, that there has been a significant change in your being. Perhaps you have started to prioritize yourself more, to value yourself in a different way, to focus on your own growth and well-being. And this change in you, dear soul, is impacting this person in a profound and overwhelming way. leaving them even more nervous and aware of what they have lost. Before we continue, the angels ask you to take a deep breath and connect with this powerful truth. What is truly yours, what is destined for you, is never lost. Trust in this. Now, continuing the message. The angels show that this person is getting closer and closer to taking a concrete action, to taking the step they fear so much, but which their soul cries out for. It is as if they are being pushed by an invisible force, by the universe itself, to face what they tried to avoid for so long, to confront reality head-on. But there is a very large internal obstacle still that needs to be overcome. Paralyzing fear. They are afraid, dear soul, that you have, in fact, moved on with your life and forgotten them. Afraid that your response upon their approach won't be the one they expect, that it will be rejection or indifference. Afraid that all this time apart has created an insurmountable distance between you two, a barrier that can no longer be torn down. This series of fears is what keeps them in a state of deep anxiety and nervousness. And the angels say something even stronger and more crucial. This person is about to put everything to the test, to make a final attempt at reconnection. They know, deep inside, that they can no longer live in this agonizing doubt, in this painful stalemate between the burning desire to be near you and the overwhelming fear of trying. They feel they need to know, once and for all, with clarity, if there is still a possible path, if there is any chance of you two rekindling this connection. This need for clarity is driving them, despite the nervousness. And when this crucial moment arrives, dear soul, you need to be completely prepared. Prepared for the truth, for the emotions, for the possibilities that will open up. The angels ask you to reflect deeply. What do you really want for your life and for this connection? What is your true desire, your deepest yearning? Because this inner answer that you find will be the master key to everything that follows. To the next steps the universe is setting up on your path. Your internal clarity is fundamental to the unfolding of this story. Dear soul, the longing that torments them can no longer be ignored, and something inside them is urgently crying out for a definitive resolution. The intensity of this feeling has reached a point where they can no longer hide it even from themselves, no matter how hard they try. Even when they try to follow their daily routine, occupying themselves with tasks and distractions, something inside them screams your name, dear soul, asking to be heard, to be acknowledged. The burning desire to seek you out is growing exponentially every day, but there is still something, an invisible force, that stops them from taking this crucial step. This internal struggle between desire and impediment is what has left them in a state of deep nervousness and restlessness. The angels show that this person feels fear, not just fear of your reaction, of how you would receive them or the words you would say, but an even deeper fear. Fear of what this reconnection could truly mean for their life, for their future. Because they know, deep down, that once they make this decision to reconnect, there will be no turning back. There will be no undoing what has been done. They feel that if they seek you out, they will need to be willing to truly open their heart, without masks, without emotional games, without defenses. And this extreme vulnerability, this exposure of their soul, is something that frightens them deeply, that terrifies them, leaving them very nervous. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has placed situations in their path so that they at last face their feelings head-on, without detours. Random conversations that bring your name up unexpectedly. Places that make them remember you with an impressive clarity. Vivid dreams that seem so real that upon waking up, leave them lost and disoriented for a few moments, not knowing where reality ends and the dream world begins. All this is happening, dear soul, because this person urgently needs to understand that they cannot continue living in this constant doubt, in this emotional stalemate. They feel this pressure from the universe, and this leaves them increasingly nervous and backed into a corner. The angels say that this person asks themselves every day, in a vicious cycle of thoughts, "Do I still have time? Can I still recover what was lost between us? Is there still a chance?" And this doubt, dear soul, is weighing more than anything else on their soul. It is a burden that consumes them. They realize with painful clarity that by losing you, they also lost an essential part of themselves, a part that only you were capable of awakening. And this absence, this gap in their soul, has become an immense void that nothing else, absolutely nothing, can fully fill. This perception of the void is what has left them so deeply nervous and anguished. Before we continue this message, if you haven't yet left your comment, right now. True love always finds a way. This powerful act strengthens the energy of the connection that the angels are bringing to you, aligning it with the forces of the universe. Now, continuing the message, the angels show that this person is preparing, deep inside, for a decisive conversation, a disclosure of their feelings. They have already realized with total clarity that they need answers, that they can no longer postpone this decision that distresses them so much. And when this crucial moment arrives, dear soul, it will be essential that you are completely connected with your inner truth, with what your heart really desires. Your clarity will be the compass for both of you. The angels ask you to ask yourself, with all the honesty and depth of your being, what does your heart really desire for this connection? What is your purest and truest yearning? Because when this person appears in your life, there will be no more room for doubts or uncertainties on your part. Your truth, dear soul, will need to be spoken with clarity and conviction. This is a unique opportunity, a portal that opens for a definitive and liberating closure, or for a fresh start full of hope and new possibilities. And this fundamental choice, dear soul, will be exclusively yours, with the support and light of the angels. The responsibility of this choice is what leaves them nervous, but also empowered. Dear soul, the angels show that this person no longer has the strength to fight against what they feel in their heart. The longing, which before was just an uncomfortable feeling, has become a burden too heavy to carry, a crushing emotional load. Every passing day away from you only increases this feeling of emptiness, this immense gap in their soul. They realize now, with more clarity than ever, that your presence in their life was a light, a source of joy and comfort, something that perhaps they didn't value enough at the right moment, and this realization has left them deeply nervous and regretful. They feel completely in an internal conflict, torn between desire and fear. Part of them just wants to run to you, dear soul, say everything they feel, open their heart completely, ask for a new chance for you both. But the other part, the part dominated by fear, is still overtaken by uncertainty. Fear that you have moved on with your life and forgotten them. Fear that your response, upon their approach, won't be the one they expect, that it will be rejection or indifference. Fear that everything they imagined as a possibility of a fresh start has become just an unreachable dream, an illusion. This overwhelming conflict is what has left them so deeply nervous and paralyzed. The angels disclose that this person has already rehearsed countless times in their mind what they could say to you. They imagine entire dialogues, think of ways to explain themselves, seek ways to justify their past mistakes and absences. But every attempt to plan this crucial conversation invariably ends at the same point: the paralyzing fear of your reaction, of the way you would receive them. And it is this fear, dear soul, that keeps them stagnant, stopping them from taking the step. But there is something very important that the angels want you to understand with total clarity. This person can no longer avoid the inevitable, what is to come. The universe is orchestrating everything for this confrontation. The universe is pressing, dear soul, creating situations and synchronicities so that they no longer have any way to run from this decision that distresses them so much. The vivid dreams, the insistent memories, the unexpected encounters with things or people that remind them of you. All this is part of a grander plan, a cosmic movement, so that they at last face the truth of their feelings. They feel this pressure, and this has left them very nervous, but with a touch of resignation. Before we continue, write in the comments, "I release the past, and I am ready for what the universe brings." This powerful act is a way of opening your heart to the blessings that are arriving in your life, to the new possibilities that present themselves. Now, continuing the message. The angels show that this person is much closer to a decisive step, to a concrete action, than they even imagine. The silence that surrounds them is becoming unbearable, almost suffocating. The urgent need to hear your voice again, to feel your energy, to have your presence, grows uncontrollably inside them. They might be hesitant now, dear soul, but soon they will be overtaken by a sudden and overwhelming courage. Something inside them will awaken with unimaginable strength, and this awakening will inevitably lead them to you for a reconnection. The question the angels bring for your reflection, dear soul, is, when this happens, when they eventually show up, will your heart be truly ready to hear everything they have to say? Are you open to this sincere listening? Because this conversation, dear soul, has the power to change absolutely everything in your life and in theirs. It is a watershed, a turning point that will redefine the course of your story. Dear soul, the angels disclose that this person is on the verge of a decisive moment, a crucial turning point in their life. The longing that before was just an occasional nuisance has now become an unsustainable weight, an overwhelming feeling that accompanies them in every thought, in every detail of their day, without ceasing. They can no longer run from this, dear soul. Something inside them asks for an outcome, for a clear answer, for a definitive action that puts an end to this anguish. This urgent need for resolution is what has left them deeply nervous and apprehensive. The angels show that, in the last few days, this person has felt your energy in an even more intense and palpable way. It is as if you were right next to them, as if the subtle presence of your soul were there, murmuring in their ears what they already know deep down, but still haven't had the full courage to admit to themselves. They need you, dear soul, your presence, your energy in their life. This subtle and persistent connection is shaking them deeply. They have been repeatedly questioning themselves if there is still time, if there is still space for a true conversation, for a sincere reunion, for a possible fresh start between you. This existential doubt accompanies them in all moments of silence, in every instant of introspection. When they lie down to sleep, dear soul, you are the last thought that invades their mind, the last glimmer of light before sleep. Upon waking, the feeling of emptiness is the first thing they feel, a painful reminder of your absence. This repetition of doubts and sensations is what has left them so nervous and exhausted. The angels say that this person feels they have already lost a lot of precious time. They realize that they waited too long, that they got caught up in fear, pride, and the doubts that consume them. And now they fear, with a growing dread, that they have let slip the last and final chance to correct their mistakes, to turn the situation around. But, at the same time, dear soul, there is an internal force that begins to overcome these fears, a flame of hope that ignites in their heart. They feel this internal struggle, and this leaves them very nervous, but also with growing determination. The universe, in its perfect synchronicity, has been sending increasingly clear and unmistakable signs so that they understand that the moment to act, to take a stance, has arrived. Perhaps they heard your name in a random conversation, saw something that reminded them of you so strongly and vividly that it seemed like a direct call from the universe. Or else, they felt a tightness in their chest, butterflies in their stomach, an uncontrollable urge to seek you out, even without understanding exactly the rational reason behind it. These cosmic signs are leaving them increasingly nervous and aware of the urgency. Before we continue this message, write in the comments, "The universe's sacred timing becomes apparent in my life. This powerful act helps to align your energy with the truth that the angels are bringing to you, opening your paths." Now, continuing the message. This person feels with total clarity that they are reaching a point of no return, where there is no longer a way to postpone what needs to be done. They need to know if there is still a path, if there is still something to be lived between you, if this connection still has a purpose. And when this crucial moment arrives, dear soul, everything that was felt in silence, everything that was repressed and kept, everything that was left pending between you will come to light in an overwhelming way and without filters. Prepare yourself for the intensity of the disclosures. The angels ask that you be ready, dear soul, because this conversation, this meeting, will be a watershed, a moment that will redefine the course of your life and theirs. It is an opportunity for healing, for clarity, for new beginnings, or for a closure and peace. Dear soul, the angels say that the moment this person has postponed for so long, that has consumed them in doubts and fears, is very close to happening. They feel, in every fiber of their being, that they can no longer ignore the powerful call that echoes inside their heart, a force that inexorably propels them in your direction. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities that stopped them from acting up until now, dear soul, are beginning to lose their paralyzing strength in the face of the uncontrollable need to connect with you again, to retie this bond. This perception of urgency is what has left them so nervous, but at the same time determined. They might not have spoken yet, they might not have verbalized their feelings, but their soul, dear soul, has already made a decision. The energy the angels show is of someone who is about to move, to take a significant step that has the power to change absolutely everything between you. And this change doesn't just come from the desire to ease the overwhelming longing, but from a much deeper and more visceral understanding. They never should have distanced themselves from you. They never should have allowed this distance. This clarity regarding the mistake of the past is what has left them deeply nervous and regretful. This person understood, with painful clarity, that their absence did not bring peace to their life. On the contrary, it made their existence a complex tangle of memories, of profound regrets and unanswered questions that torment them incessantly. They realize now, more sharply than ever, that what they felt for you wasn't a fleeting and superficial feeling. It wasn't something that could be easily replaced or forgotten as time passed. The link between you, dear soul, is real, intense, and above all, undeniable, a force that consumes them. The angels show that inside them, there is a genuine and burning desire to redeem themselves, to make up for lost time, to explain everything that was left unexplained, to correct the mistakes they made, to say at last what should have been said a long time ago, but which fear and pride silenced. But along with this overwhelming desire for redemption comes the paralyzing uncertainty. Do you still want to hear them out? Is your heart still open to their words? This uncertainty is what has left them so deeply nervous and apprehensive. They are afraid, dear soul, that upon trying to get closer, they will discover that it is already too late for any reconciliation, that your heart no longer has space for them, that time has erased any chance of a fresh start. This overwhelming fear makes them hesitate, but no longer to the point of stopping them completely from acting. The flame of hope, however small, ignites amidst the nervousness. Before we close this message, if it touched your heart and resonated with your truth, write in the comments, "I accept what is mine by right." This powerful act opens the doors for the energy of the universe to work in your favor, aligning the cosmic forces with your desires. Now, continuing the message. The angels want you to know, dear soul, that your energy plays an absolutely fundamental and leading role in this moment of transition. Your intuition, which is a reliable guide, already feels that something grandiose is about to happen, that a profound and inevitable change is arriving in your life. If your heart still holds feelings for this person, if there is still a sincere desire for a reunion and a new beginning, be completely prepared for this moment, for it is approaching rapidly. Because this person, dear soul, will appear in your life again. They will come in your direction. And when they arrive, dear soul, it will no longer be with doubts, with uncertainties, or with emotional games. It will be with the raw, naked truth, with their heart in their hands, ready for anything. The big final question, dear soul, is, what will you do with this truth that will be unveiled to you? What will be your decision in the face of this new opportunity? The choice is yours, and the angels will guide you on your path. Dear soul, the intensity of this feeling that consumes them has reached a point where they can no longer hide it even from themselves, no matter how much they try to repress it. Even when they try to follow their daily routine, keeping busy with the most diverse activities, something inside them screams your name, dear soul, asking to be heard, to be acknowledged in its fullness. The burning and overwhelming desire to seek you out is growing exponentially every day, every passing hour. But there is still something, an invisible barrier, that stops them from taking this crucial step, from advancing in your direction. This struggle between the impulse and the impediment is what has left them so deeply nervous and in a state of constant restlessness. The angels show that this person feels fear, not just fear of your reaction, of how you would receive them or the words you would say to them, but an even deeper and visceral fear of what this reconnection could truly mean for their life, for their future. Because they know, deep down, that once they make this decision to reconnect, there will be no turning back. There will be no undoing what has been done. They feel that, if they seek you out, they will need to be willing to truly open their heart, without masks, without emotional games, without the defenses they built over time. And this extreme vulnerability, this exposure of their soul, is something that frightens them deeply, that terrifies them, leaving them very nervous and apprehensive about what is to come. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has placed situations in their path so that they at last face their feelings head-on, without detours or subterfuges. Random conversations that bring your name up unexpectedly, places that make them remember you with an impressive clarity, vivid dreams that seem so real that, upon waking up, leave them lost and disoriented for a few moments, not knowing where reality ends and the dream world begins. All this is happening, dear soul, because this person urgently needs to understand that they cannot continue living in this constant doubt, in this emotional stalemate that consumes them. They feel this pressure from the universe, and this leaves them increasingly nervous and backed into a corner, driven to act. The angels say that this person asks themselves every day, in a vicious cycle of thoughts, do I still have time? Can I still recover what was lost between us? Is there still a chance? And this doubt, dear soul, is weighing more than anything else on their soul. It is a burden that consumes them from the inside. They realize, with a painful clarity, that by losing you, they also lost an essential part of themselves, a part that only you were capable of awakening. And this absence, this gap in their soul, has become an immense void that nothing else, absolutely nothing, can fully fill. This perception of the void is what has left them so deeply nervous and anguished, unable to find peace. Before we continue this message, share this video with 2 dear people who are in need of this message of hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and mutual support together. Leave a comment with a prayer for your guardian angel. Now, continuing the message. The angels show that this person is preparing, deep inside, for a decisive conversation, a disclosure of their feelings. They have already realized, with total clarity, that they need answers, that they can no longer postpone this decision that distresses them so much. And when this crucial moment arrives, dear soul, it will be essential that you are completely connected with your inner truth, with what your heart really desires. Your clarity will be the compass for both of you. The angels ask you to ask yourself, with all the honesty and depth of your being, what does your heart really desire for this connection? What is your purest and truest yearning? Because when this person appears in your life, there will be no more room for doubts or uncertainties on your part. Your truth, dear soul, will need to be spoken with clarity and conviction. This is a unique opportunity, a portal that opens for a definitive and liberating closure, or for a fresh start full of hope and new possibilities. And this fundamental choice, dear soul, will be exclusively yours, with the support and light of the angels. The responsibility of this choice is what leaves them nervous, but also empowered. Dear soul, the angels disclose that this person no longer has the strength to fight against what they feel. The longing has become a burden too heavy to carry, and every day away from you only increases this feeling of emptiness. They realize now, with more clarity than ever, that your presence was a light in their life, something that perhaps they didn't value at the right moment. This realization of the value you hold is what has left them deeply nervous and regretful. They feel they are in an overwhelming internal conflict. Part of them just wants to run to you, say everything they feel, ask for a new chance. But the other part is still overtaken by fear. Fear that you have moved on. Fear that your response won't be the one they expect. Fear that everything they imagined as a possibility has become just an unreachable dream. This conflict is what has left them so deeply nervous and paralyzed. The angels show that this person has already rehearsed countless times what they could say to you. They imagine dialogues in their mind, think of ways to explain themselves, seek ways to justify their mistakes and their absences. But every attempt to plan this conversation ends at the same point: the paralyzing fear of your reaction. And it is this fear, dear soul, that keeps them stagnant. But there is something the angels want you to understand. This person can no longer avoid the inevitable. The universe is orchestrating everything for this confrontation. The universe is pressing, creating situations so that they no longer have any way to run from this decision. The dreams, the memories, the unexpected encounters with things that remind them of you. All this is part of a grander plan so that they at last face the truth. They feel this pressure, and this has left them very nervous, but with a touch of resignation. Before we continue, write in the comments, "I release the past, and I am ready for what the universe brings." This act is a way to open your heart to the blessings that are arriving. Now, continuing the message. The angels show that this person is much closer to a decisive step than they imagine. The silence is becoming unbearable. The need to hear your voice, to feel your energy again, grows uncontrollably. They might be hesitant now, but soon they will be overtaken by a sudden courage. Something inside them will awaken, and this awakening will lead them to you. The question the angels bring is, when this happens, will your heart be ready to hear? Because this conversation has the power to change everything. Dear soul, the angels disclose that this person is on the verge of a decisive moment. The longing that before was just a nuisance has now become an unsustainable weight, a feeling that accompanies them in every thought, in every detail of their day. They can no longer run from this. Something inside them asks for an outcome, for a clear answer, for a definitive action. This need for resolution is what has left them deeply nervous and apprehensive. The angels show that, in the last few days, this person has felt your energy in an even more intense way. It is as if you were right next to them, as if the presence of your soul were there, murmuring what they already know, but still haven't had the courage to fully admit. They need you. They have been repeatedly questioning themselves if there is still time, if there is still space for a conversation, for a reunion, for a fresh start. This doubt accompanies them in all moments of silence. When they lie down to sleep, you are the last thought that invades their mind. Upon waking, the feeling of emptiness is the first thing they feel. This repetition of doubts and sensations is what has left them so nervous and exhausted. The angels say that this person feels they have already lost a lot of time. They realize they waited too long, that they got caught up in fear, pride, and doubts. And now they fear they have let the last chance to correct their mistakes slip by. But, at the same time, there is a force inside them that begins to overcome these fears. They feel this internal struggle, and this leaves them very nervous, but also with a growing determination. The universe has sent increasingly clear signs so that they understand the moment to act has arrived. Perhaps they heard your name in a random conversation, saw something that reminded them of you so strongly that it seemed like a call. Or else, they felt a tightness in their chest, butterflies in their stomach, an uncontrollable urge to seek you out, even without understanding exactly the reason. These cosmic signs are leaving them increasingly nervous and aware of the urgency. Before we continue this message, write in the comments. The universe's sacred timing becomes apparent in my life. This powerful act helps align your energy with the truth the angels are bringing to you. Now, continuing the message. This person feels they are reaching a point where there is no longer a way to postpone. They need to know if there is still a path, if there is still something to be lived between you. And when this moment arrives, everything that was felt in silence, everything that was repressed, everything that was left pending between you will come to light. Prepare yourself for the intensity of the disclosures. The angels ask that you be ready, because this conversation will be a watershed. Dear soul, the angels say that the moment this person has postponed for so long is very close. They feel they can no longer ignore the call that echoes inside their heart. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities that stopped them from acting up until now begin to lose strength in the face of the uncontrollable need to connect with you again. This perception of urgency is what has left them so nervous, but at the same time determined. They might not have spoken yet, but their soul has already made a decision. The energy the angels show is of someone who is about to move, to take a step that could change everything. And this change doesn't just come from the desire to ease the longing, but from a deeper understanding. They never should have distanced themselves. This clarity regarding the mistake of the past is what has left them deeply nervous and regretful. This person understood that their absence did not bring peace. On the contrary, it made their life a tangle of memories, regrets, and unanswered questions. They realize now that what they felt for you wasn't a fleeting feeling. It wasn't something that could be replaced or forgotten with time. The link between you is real, intense, and undeniable. The angels show that, inside them, there is a genuine desire to redeem themselves, to explain everything that was left unexplained, to correct mistakes, to say what should have been said a long time ago. But along with this desire comes the uncertainty. Do you still want to hear them out? This uncertainty is what has left them so deeply nervous and apprehensive. They are afraid that, upon trying to get closer, they will discover it is already too late, that your heart no longer has space for them, that time has erased any chance of a fresh start. This fear makes them hesitate, but no longer to the point of stopping them from acting. Before we close this message, if it touched your heart and resonated with your truth, write in the comments, "I accept what is mine by right." This act opens the doors for the energy of the universe to work in your favor. Now, continuing the message. The angels want you to know that your energy plays a fundamental role in this moment. Your intuition already feels that something is about to happen, that a change is arriving. If your heart still holds feelings, if there is still a desire for a reunion, Be prepared for this moment, because this person will appear, and when they arrive, it will no longer be with doubts, it will be with the truth. What will you do with this truth? If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments. I trust the universe's sacred timing, and I am ready for love. Share your experiences in the comments. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.